It's my heart.
All right, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
We do have a couple of people who maybe not have joined us the last time, so maybe we'll go around and do introductions.
Yes.
And so, good morning, Paula Texel, Chief HR Officer.
Dave Richmond, Director of Payroll.
Good morning, Carly Spicer, Senior Compensation Analyst.
Gary Jefferson, Chief Financial Officer.
Tina Collins, HR.
Carla Correa, Communications.
Jamie Beck, MSD.
Nelly Hennes, President of PESPA.
Scott Barnum, Vice President, PESPA.
All right, well, we are glad to be here this morning, bright and early, 9 o'clock. I know that we have recently TA'd the contract language, and so today we're here to focus on salaries compensation with PESPA and the district.
And we TA health insurance.
We did, and
So I just want to make sure it's
yeah.
part of the conversation.
And it will be, so so if it's okay, Nelly, if I can go ahead and.
Yeah,
you're
go
good
ahead,
with
that's
that?
just
Okay.
your time.
So I do know that, just to recap, that we recognize that, PESPA has, proposed or had discussions regarding, increasing, salaries $7 per hour across the board. Last time, or one of the times that we met recently, we did share, that we had done a quick cost out of that at that time, right? You understand, rosters change daily, but that cost to the district would be $21 million, 26 million with fringe, so kind of just saying that. So what was shared at our last meeting is we did, Mr. Jefferson had gone over the financials at that time. We had shared that the district had received $12 million in new funding from the state that are available for salaries. That is for all groups and all employees in the district. That 12 million equated to just under 2%. We had talked about in our current payroll, 6.8 million pretty much equates to a 1% portion of the payroll. We said at that point that we would continue to look at all options to generate more funding sources that could be available for salary increases, and we always keep in mind that we're looking for recurring funds too, so that our increases recur each year. So since the last meeting, as Nelly just mentioned, EWBS did meet to discuss healthcare, and it was agreed on that a recommendation be brought to this group. I actually did bring copies, Nelly, for the group. If we just take one and pass, I did bring 10, so I think everybody can get one around the table. Just so you can see it, Nelly, this is our page that we did sign off on at the beginning of the month. I just wanted to take a minute just to kind of review that. So the increase in salaries that was recommended is a 7.36% increase to our healthcare costs. I do have to give kudos to just everybody who's working on that. When we met at the beginning of May, the increase was about 10.6% was going to be the increase, and going back, looking at models, designs, and so forth. It was able to come back down to 7.36, understanding it's still 7.36. We would have liked to have no increase in healthcare costs, but we all know what's going on, just, with all healthcare these days. So it was recommended the district pick up 80% of that increase, which was about $8.9 million. And the employees would pick up 20%, which is 1.6 million of the increase. And again, when we talk about these dollars, it's all employees. So I know we're here meeting specifically for PESPA, but we kind of give that total. So I just wanted to touch base, so what that means for the district. And again, as we're talking about available funds for increases, 4.5, so it's just, 8.9 million. So half of that for the 25, right, we have to budget for, is 4.5. And then, which is half of this year's cost, plus 2.5 million to pick up from last year's. Remember, because we're not on a school year, we're on a calendar year for healthcare. So the cost of the district for healthcare increases is 7 million. So we're kind of keeping 12 million given from the state, 7 million is required that we'll have to budget for healthcare increases. But I know that's a lot of, we give you the whole employee and the whole millions. What does that equate to for employees? I just wanted to share again what was shared at the EWBS. It will be about an increase of $7 or $8 per pay period for those employees that are on the employee only plan, right? So if you look at the chart there, I know a lot of us have already seen it. I'm just looking at the employee. We have 4 different plan options for our employees. If you're looking at the employee, you're looking at the 1, 2, 3, 4th column from the right. That's the increase per pay period. So 7, 8, 8, and 7. If you're on the employee only plan, increases will be between $19 and $23 per pay period if for those employees who are on the family option. So those are that. So the district is also, again, since the last meeting, we are close to closing our books on a budget for the 23-24 school year. I know Gary's going to be presenting the budget at our next board meeting on the 30th. And he'll be talking about that at the board meeting that day, which, you know, he has included an amount available for salary increases. And it's all about keeping our books balanced, right? We all do that. The district then also did continuing to look at units, continuing to look at other, you know, ways to secure additional funding. I think it's important to remember about 85% of our payroll is paid to, about of our budget is paid for people, it's salaries, benefits. So when we go looking for more money, it's people, it's not necessarily programs and things. So with that, over the last several months, we were able to secure another 14 million through units, through budget, looking at recurring that we were able to do. So what does this mean for today, sitting at our table today? So again, the district has about 19 million available for salary increases. So remember when I said the 12, which was just under 2, now we're kind of inching more up towards the 3% for increases. So again, 12 million, I'm sorry.
And that part, you said you got $9 million for salaries.
19.
19, okay, and
Yes.
that's including what we're saving in the EWS for the health insurance.
So 12 million that we're receiving from the state, 14 million that we have worked on units and budget and rearranging and things, taking out the 7 million for healthcare, which leaves us with 19 million. And for our PESPA group, it means about $2 million that we have available for salary increases. So we would like to present to you I know over the years we have done a salary, we do have a salary grid for our supports employees. And so we would like to present to the group a proposal of a 3% across the board. And actually, I'm going to give you that. Let me just take 2 and then you can pass those around. I'll give you those 2. You know, a couple of side notes and so forth. You know, we really look at a lot of things. We want to first make sure that any increases, we want to make sure the increases are there to cover absolutely the cost of the increase in healthcare. You know, we want to make sure that there is that plus some, and this does obtain that. We also do know, and I would be remiss to not mention, you know, our board has recently, and through the blessing of a lot of people in our county, looking towards a referendum vote coming up in November that will also impact and support and recognize this group now, which I think it's well needed and what we've been waiting for that. So we're very happy that it would include that. We understand that that's for next year though. So we are here, you know, and so.
At this point, I will not talk about the referendum because we're
No, and I
not quite
understand
sure
that, and yep,
if that's gonna pass or not. That's a 2025.
absolutely, and I wanted to make sure
2024.
people here understood that is not for this
Okay.
year. And so here we are ready to present this, so, you know, if we want to, so that's kind of our proposal, so I'm gonna kind of throw it back over to your side if you want to discuss, if you want to propose something, if you want to, we can chat or whatever you want to do.
I just want to ask a question because. And that's go to Gary and you, okay, Gary's new. And I mentioned it in a line when we were in language on the contract. The state fund reserves is 3%. I know the policy of the district is 5.1. They wanna use it, but that's not how it works, but that was Kevin Smith work. It was for rainy days. We never know where we need the money. This is rainy days. This is the time that people need the money. We don't need 5.1% in the revenue. If we can take a lease and leave the revenue of 4%, you still have money for rainy days. This support staff employee need the money now. $15 an hour living in this district and with the inflation's going high, rent is going high. I just be honest, and I gotta, we talked about it yesterday. I'm be honest, I am not accepting this 3% proposal. We need to do a little bit better. They can, the school board can take money out of the revenue. I know they want it for rainy days. This is a rainy day. This is a stormy day. We're in a tropical storm. And these people need that money. So if they can take some of that revenue money and use it for the employees, it will be appreciated. And we in the past, I've been here so long, we in the past, we respect it. And we agree, we disagree, and we're like, okay, we work it on it. But this time, we have to face the reality. The reality is that the employees are suffering. So I know that's not the decision that you guys can make as a policy or the school board. And I know that but I would like to see using some of that revenue reserve fund that is in there to put in salaries. We have to be realistic. We need to do something. And I understand that you have only 2%, $2 million for PESPA part Unit 19 for all 4 units, because we had to include the police department, FSO, whatever they call. But the district need to do better this year. I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you, and I don't think anybody here would disagree with anything that you're saying. And we understand the challenges citizens in Pinellas County are experiencing right now. It is difficult, and so I want to make sure that you hear that we recognize that. A couple of things I want to I would like to clarify, and you're exactly right. It is it's board policy that it is at 5%. You're exactly right. And we have had the discussion, or we have had the discussion with the board regarding that. Right now, there is no movement to move that policy or to change that policy. And if we were to, as you said, go into the reserves, that would need to be policy change, right? So that's not available at this point. The other thing about the reserves, and we have shared this over the years, is that is a one-time. Those funds are not recurring. Once you take that out of the reserves, they're no longer there for next year's the same pullout, and the next year the same pullout. So when we talk about the need to look at recurring funds, it has to be recurring funds. We're just setting ourselves up for the years down the road that those funds are not there. Once you use it, they're gone. When we do salary increases and it's in our budget, those are budgeted each year and will continue. So the reserves are, unless there's something else that our finance people want to add to that. You good?
Yeah, and I understand that, we have this revenue saving for years. It's not 1-2 years, it's being 5%, 5.1.
And it goes up
5.2,
and down,
4.
right?
But they never go lower than 5.
We can't by policy.
By the district policy, but they can switch the policy.
Yes, they could.
And they can do it maybe in an school board meeting or in a workshop. They can bring the policy all together and kind of get
So
together.
if we do a policy change, just as a reminder, there are 2 readings for the policy. So it's not something that they can just take to the next board meeting and change. And again, I'm going to reiterate that we have asked, and it is not something that the board feels comfortable with doing at this point.
And I understand, don't take me wrong, I
Yeah.
understand, but they need to realize if they really care about the employee, let me not say that.
Yeah.
I'm me see how I can say it. If. I'm thinking of better word, cause I don't wanna say care, if they're understanding the support staff in the district. The way they are surviving, working 3, 4 jobs. And the school board can at least. I'm not asking to take 2% out of the whole revenue. They can take at least 1% of the revenue and leave it at 4. They'll still have money saving inside the revenue for anything happen, they'll still have something inside. I'm not talking about bringing everything, clear it up and leaving it 3. But they can take some, they can.
So here's what I would like to, so I.
Can I actually say one
Oh,
thing?
sure.
Sorry. So just to kind of go off of what you said, just to be clear, they're not taking 5% of each year's revenue.
Oh, I know.
Right? It's simply a balance
Mhm.
that's retained, right? And so if you took it from 5 to 4%, that would be some relatively small funds that would be available for this year that would not be sustainable for any future year. As simply a statement.
And I understand that, but I think this year. That's what I just mentioned it, the way these people are living, the way they are suffering. We need to be realistic. And they always say raining days, well, we never know. This is the time, this
So-
people, and the district.
So I think another, oh, I'm so sorry.
I just think that. And as much as we wanna think of it as like, is everyone thinks of it as a raise or an increase in salary. I really think that with our support staff, we have to think of it more as like an equity proposition. You know, just to make sure that we provide for them equally like we do for everyone else and, you know, and support them. If we are now, I know like paying our substitute or paying our interns and stuff like that, the $15 an hour or stuff. Why are we not, like, we need to invest that kind of money into our support staff as well. And that's equity, you know, more than so much a raise is how I always think about it with, you know, it's just getting it up there. So as the school board and taking this policy and changing that policy, I think, you know, to tap into those funds. I think that's a way to put it across the table, is it is an equity proposition. It's not just a raise, it's making sure that our employees can, you know, our employees can live and work and feed their families. We have so many employees now, and they were at the school board meeting and they spoke about it, and it's heartbreaking. We have, I mean, even. So like Carla works with the St. Pete Tenants Union a lot to help people in St. Pete area and across the county really not be, you know, displaced from their homes. And there are so many things that they have going against them. A lot of them don't even know that they have these rights, and that there are guidelines to go by. And Carla was sitting beside one of like someone recently they were like, how do we know each other? Well, that's how. And that was, this person was an employee at the district, and like eviction is she's like, I don't know how we do this.
We get
And so-
calls every day and.
Every single day we get calls.
And
How
we
do
got
we do
to
this?
work it
How
out.
do we get through? How do we get through this with the employees to make sure that you guys are, you keep these employees, you know? And it's I feel like on us, I mean, we are public education, we fight for strong public education every day, and our support employees are so critical. And I think it is like more of an equity thing than, you know, than a raise. It's let's get them where they can live in your communities, like, and be able to provide
Well,
and stay here.
No, we hear you, everybody sitting at this table hears you. I caution, however, about using non-recurring funds, and the reason why we continue to say that
Mhm.
is I certainly don't wanna get to to the next year and then not provide any increase, I mean, something that we have done. And I think our district has done very well with, is the continuous increases, the percentages each year, and I know we can talk percentages, and if we wanna talk dollars, we're prepared to talk dollar amounts too. But we need to get, but there are many counties and districts that don't receive raise one year because they raise it a lot one, different year. We do feel very good about that, about continuous increases. The second thing I will say is.
And I said,
you
I
brought up
appreciate
the-
that, because
Yeah.
that's something that a lot of
That was
districts.
towards our retirement.
And we get it, and I can say it, openly, I understand that, and we're one of the first, I think we're one of the local ones that we have every year, so I'm not gonna disagree with that statement because it's reality. So I just wanna put it in there for people to.
So the other thing is we are constantly looking, you brought up, Jamie, a great, example of, paying our interns and, and a lot of the things that we do at times are reactions from other districts that do that in order to keep the people here. We, and we're always looking at keeping people here. For example, our apprenticeship program, we
Yeah.
have 30 support staff that we are paying to go back to paying their college. We are paying that,
Absolutely.
we are helping the lives, we are changing the lives of 30 of our support staff employees. And I know it doesn't, I know you have thousands, but it's a little bit at a time, and so we do look for those things about how we can assist and in a manner that we can, and listen, we are running ragged, trying to find grant money, finding things to do that, so it doesn't come out, so that that dollars can come back to everybody, So we're always doing that, right? But we recognize that we're gonna do the work to support that, so I think there are some things, so I don't wanna negate that we're not,
No, I
letting
understand,
let you know.
and we love the apprenticeship program as well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing, it is a
Yeah.
great program for the employees, I
And we're the
can't
first
wait to
ones.
see it grow.
We'll see it grow.
We're also, partnering with you guys, writing a grant right now to try to help with that.
Yes.
And to make sure that our support staff actually get the extra training they're gonna need too, and, anything that can help,
This is
so.
what we're all
It's,
working,
right, and this is what we
But the
need.
bottom line is, and we've talked about this before, we do have a finite amount of
Mhm.
money. It is, I wish it was growing,
Yeah.
I wish we could get, It is our intent to give the most that we can.
And
$12 million is what we've received from the state, so
Mhm.
again, it's. And we've talked about this over the years too,
Mhm.
like, we are making sure that our district continues to be fiscally responsible. Because we want our employees to be there for the long term. And we have to be able to be fiscally responsible to do that. So what I would like to say at this point is, we've provided, I don't know if you have anything you would like to propose back, if you would like to have.
A minute.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll take a minute to.
Take a minute?
Yeah, we'll go. welcome back.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Welcome back. Thank you for giving us our time to cover this. I am who I am. So we took the proposal, the increase proposal, the 3% that you offer us. I'm gonna reject the proposal and I'm gonna bring my proposal to you guys, 7% increase.
So that is your proposal,
Yeah,
7%
7%
across.
I know you have on my, I don't know, you wanna propose, show me the one that you have with the dollar amount, that way we can.
So could we actually call
Yeah,
this at
go
this
ahead.
point, and then
Yeah.
when you come back, we'll,
You want me to go?
either way.
I'll let you hear, so Dina come first.
I'll fix that, Eric.
She'll thank you for that.
All right.
Dina, put it Those two, perfect.
Alrighty. So
We are back.
All right, so thank you so much for giving us some time to discuss your proposal. You had proposed a 7% increase. We are going to reject that, as that would be approximately 4.7 million, which is more than double of what we have available. So we are going to come back with some maybe a different way of looking at it, and so forth. So I want to give you, I only brought 2 copies, so Charlie's gonna give that to maybe you and you can share there. We hear, we hear loud and clear about, from what you've been sharing with us. I know it is a little weird.
No, I was like, sorry.
Yeah, good, thank you. But we wanted to see where, and I know you all have this information too. I know you probably pulled this information as well, and looking at, the employees who are in your unit, and we see a great number in those certain FG level, mainly the G levels. And we heard you loud and clear about increasing as much as we can. You had come back and asked us for 7%. I know we were at 3%. I've twisted Gary's arm a little bit to nudge up a little bit and give us a little bit more funds, but I want to present something a little differently, maybe to that might be something to consider. So I know we had talked also previously, oh, sorry, I keep doing this, let me pull 2. Talking about a dollar amount, as opposed to maybe get away a little bit from the percentages, but we're still working with a finite pot of money, right? So we did put a proposal together that would be a 60-cent increase per hour. Across the board. So again, if you look at your just reacclimating to the grids, right? The top one is what we have currently. The middle one is the 24-25, where they would be. But the more importantly, the bottom. So take a look at the bottom is always, you typically see if the one we gave you before, it said 3.0 across. This one tells you by level and by pay level and pay grade, the percentages. So this would, I know, the range then would be anywhere from 1.7, because we do not have anybody sitting in those ones to the bottom right. I'm just gonna say bottom right. From a 1.7 to a 4% though, for some of your the lowest paid. So it does give a little bit more percentage wise to those earning around that 1540 rate. And it would impact a great number of your employees more favorably than say a 3.0. So again, just a different way of looking at things. And I know you had, I was trying to work on that a little bit yesterday. I know after we had talked and maybe looking at a dollar amount. And so we would like to present that. This does increase the money needed for this by a couple $100,000. So again, I twist Gary's arm a little bit to make this work, to remain in our budgeted amount, but it does give a little bit more and just separate, it just identifies and provides a little bit more to those employees at that level. Where it would be a 60-cent per hour increase. And I know a lot of our employees do look at that.
And they do talk about that quite often, is about the hourly rate and that, and we hear you, because when you hear 3% and I'm $15 an hour, but 60 cents more an hour, and really well over half of your group is, and we know that the average is $17.55 an hour. But we do have a lot of folks that are coming into the district, it allows for them to come in. And when you look at 60 cents an hour times 7 hours a day times 196 days, it's putting in, I think, like $860 more into their pockets per year.
And what I also want to just clarify is that if this was something you were interested in, if this, moved forward, then the employee would remain at the pay grade and at the level. So sometimes we move up a lot, and I know that becomes,
That was percentage.
it's always up, right? So I just wanted to just so questions or discussion, or is this an option? Is this something you're interested in?
Let's go. I'm gonna do calculator. Mhm. Yep, all right, we'll be right back.
We'll be back.
Here we go. You ready?
Nobody said a line. They sent you something.
We're back.
Okay, we are back. Oh, I lost my track, sorry. So, no, Paula, thank you for proposing, a 60, and I like this way. I prefer to work, with this method, about dollar amount,
Mhm.
better the percentage.
Okay.
And I would like to continue doing that. So we are going to reject right now the proposal of 60 cents. And we are coming with a proposal of $3.60.
Layering $3 and
And
60
60
cents.
cents.
So, and here's why. Let me give you our rationale. Sure. So we took things into perspective. So $3.60 is for our $15 hour employees, is how I took it, right? Lowest paid employee, $15 flat. Would increase it to $18.50
Mhm.
Or
a day,
sorry.
or a day. No. And then, which is,
An hour.
yeah,
Are you
an
doing
hour.
$3.60 an hour?
Right. So it's like, so at the end of it, after taking the 440 out of it for like, if they were on the highest paid health insurance, right? Would provide them with like still the $3,000, it'd be a $3,000 increase through the year. Which is
A living
wage with inflation and all that. So that's where we are, that's how we came to that number, to make sure that we could do that across the board and get those, the $15 an hour employees up to a higher pay increase.
20%, so that's a 24% increase.
On 15. Yes, that's like 15.
So that's a 24% increase on the $15 an hour. You came the last time at 7%. And so now you're coming back at 24%.
Because now we're doing dollar amounts and
I
not cents, so it's,
I
yeah,
understand.
so now we're,
So
it's like a regroup.
just a minute. So that is equal to, so we're keeping dollar amount discussions, that's $13.4 million. So again, I don't need a caucus,
No,
right?
let's go.
So let's have a discussion, right? Continue the discussion, which is awesome. I'm gonna go back to the 19 million finite amount. Maybe a million additional, so, okay, 19 million for all employees. And this proposal is 13.4. Is we are rejecting that proposal, so let's have some continued conversation.
Yeah.
That is absolutely not feasible to do. The word is out of my head right now, so I apologize. That is not a responsible and fiscally responsible option for us, so. The 60 cents per hour increase is pushing what we have available this year in part. What do we got?
So we can go, $1.60.
60 cents an hour is the most that we are able to do at this time. And Nelly, you've known us for a long time, like we, I walked through everything at the very beginning and you understand we are getting 12 million from the state. That's what we're getting, and we as a district really feel we did our due diligence, and Gary coming on with the first time, he really was kind of thrown into this too, and I kept saying, go find more, go find more.
So how much is $1.60 in percentage in the total before we keep it?
Okay,
5.6 million.
5.6 million for $1.60 per hour.
And then for,
Hold on a second, I'm gonna write that down, I'm sorry, 5.6 million, you said? And do you want the percentage?
For the 15.
Well, we're not talking percentage.
You
No, I don't
you don't
need
want that,
percentage.
okay, all right.
what about,
So what is the best? I know you guys, we
The-
just got stuck in 60.
Yeah.
But we can go half and half, or we
So-
can,
so if-
what about $1 an
So
hour?
before we came yesterday, we were at 45 cents an hour, like that's where, and I said, we need to go more, like I need to come in with my best. And that's where it was pushed to the 60, so I know it looks like we're just coming in with 60. But we're not just coming in, I'm not gonna come in and say, I've got 20 cents for you, and then we're gonna go back and forth, I'm coming in, that is which is. And you can see the percentages, spread through, that is the most. I mean, I didn't look at Gary, but I can look at Gary.
Well, I just gotta say,
Carly, what was the?
you can try,
dollar
you
amount?
can try, it. What about with $1 increase? How much you can, it's 40 cents more, I know it's a lot. How much you can squeeze just for $1 more for the employee?
$1
Yes,
is 3.7 million.
And I'm gonna revert back to where we came in at 2 million.
Can you give me the difference between the dollar amount, between what 3% was and the dollar is?
What was that difference?
1.7 million.
Those may seem like small dollar amounts to you.
No,
No,
wait, no,
no,
it doesn't.
don't.
Once you put it all with that many people, we understand what it is.
Don't say,
Yeah.
just.
Alright, can you give us another caucus time?
Expect. And we're back.
Alrighty, this is fun, going back and forth, but
Isn't it?
so it's all good. So. Again, I'm gonna reiterate that we definitely hear that you like the dollar amount. Thought process with that, so we're good to keep having that discussion. We also, I just wanna restate, I mean, every time we caucus, we do recognize. The work that our employees do, so we recognize that. We are going to come back. In a meeting halfway from what you last at $1 and we were at 60. We are going to propose to you 75 cents an hour. And that is 2.7 million. So that is again more than what we had originally come in with. And we are really hoping that that will be something you are interested in. And we can have further discussions on how to proceed. So again, I pushed them yesterday to go to 60 cents an hour. Gary has confirmed that this would be doable. We will have to go back and look at a couple things to pull these to funds to get to where we need to be for PESPA, and but Gary assures me that he is able to do that. So 75 cents, and that is probably stretching, because that's over what that I stretched yesterday. Sorry. So handing it back to you.
Okay, I'm gonna put you. Just like I'm gonna put you a little bit.
You already did push me.
I know.
I'm already out the door.
I'm gonna do like
It's
they
scary,
got,
really.
I'm gonna do like they got an eye for.
Oh, yeah, no, we're not gonna talk about that. Okay.
I'll tell you guys the story after we mute or so.
Yes.
Okay.
Look, and after I check it, what I thought about that one. What about 80 cents?
Okay, so I'm gonna go back
guess-
to, oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, go ahead.
The
Sorry.
difference between the 75 and 80 cents would be, what is that here? On your calculation?
Come on, Gary, you're the math money.
I don't have the paper in front of me.
I'm gonna, while they might be putting that in there and getting to, the 75 cents would allow the majority of and I know I shared that grid with you. It is the majority that of your employees would be, and I know you don't only talk percentages, but it would give them 5%, 4.8%, 4.7%. I mean,
That
that
was
is
a 30 more per year.
Yeah.
No, but I just
That's
wanna know
also
this, I
very
just
much
want.
and we really do feel
Wait, Carly, can you calculate that one?
80 cents. Oh, go ahead.
It's 3 million.
But I'm gonna go back to.
No, I just wanna.
Yeah, okay,
And then with 75, how much was?
2.7.
2.7, what?
Millions.
2.7. What are the other numbers behind that 7?
I'm sorry,
The other numbers behind that 7.
2.787. So closer to 2.8. You want to round.
And then is it in 3 point something, Carly?
It would be 2,973,644.
And I am just gonna.
Yeah, give us just a minute. Okay, all right, we're gonna,
Oh, yeah.
all right, we'll be right back.
Sure.
We're back.
Okay, we're back. So we take your current proposal. No, I'm not gonna do this to, Jared. It's gonna say we're rejecting the 75 cents, we're gonna go to 80 cents. No, we're taking the proposal.
Wonderful.
I love your,
Very
I
nice.
love your face. I love his face. Every time I
He's
say
learning,
something,
he's learning.
we're taking the 75 cents.
Excellent, so now we have a couple of questions, Carly does have it up on her computer, so we could email it to you and we could print it, so we could get signatures if you want.
Yeah.
But there are a couple of questions that clarification, it really is up to you on how to
You wanna send it
Now-
to me?
implement that,
we
well,
can
hold
look
up,
at
we
it.
got a couple
Hold on,
questions, because we got
That's what
one
I'm
thing.
saying, questions, like.
So we have, so as I said, when we do the dollar, everything will remain, so if you are a pay grade 7F, you'll remain 7F. Right, so you'll go
Yes.
to $15.75 an hour then. So we can leave it with starting with F. And so that would mean starting this year, new hires will also start at $15.75. Or we can go back and add an E and have them at 50. You wanna just keep it, okay.
We're not gonna go, just leave it.
I know there were some concerns about the separation and new hires and so forth and
Yeah,
so that.
because
if you're good with that.
we're doing all that across the board, it's not
Yeah.
make sense to reimburse the letters. Leave it the way it is, we just add the amount of money and we keep it with that.
So
but
just
we're not-
clarifying, so if
Everybody will be
I.
at starting employees.
Starting
will
employees,
be
yes.
So
75.
let me just play it out, so I always like to give a scenario, right? So I started last year. And I was making 15 an hour, so this year I'll be, if it's ratified and everything good, I'll make $15.75. I am a newly hired person in September coming in, I will also make $15.75. You're good with that, as opposed to putting a level putting an E and leaving it at 15. So a new hire would come in making 15. So you would have
That's what she
a,
was asking.
that's what I'm
So
asking.
we need to,
Yeah.
because of the compression that we had with the 15.
Yeah.
No, you got me.
You guys wanna talk about it?
Just mute it.
Yeah,
We're coming back.
18%
Um,
decrease.
we are coming back, we are still working, some of the job, pay scale. That's why it's taking a little bit of time, we wanna make sure nobody be hurt. So give it a couple more minutes and we come back, in the audio back again with you guys. Give it a couple more minutes, thank you for your patience.
All right, we are back.
General.
Okay, thank you for your patience and I really appreciate it. I know we took a lot of time, with the Pinellas County School District, team and PESPA, working on the pay scale, we came to the conclusions that, the new employee coming on new at the year of the district, it will stay at the same salary. And we've got to get better wording. I'm sorry, don't correct me. We're just working on it. And the people that are already employee and plus years of experience, they're gonna have a 75 per hour increase.
75 cents per
Oh,
hour.
sir, thank you, 75 cents per hour increase. We already, tentative agreement, it was a wonderful year 2024, 2025, bargaining. We already agree on the language, on the full book language for, PESPA contract for 2024, 27. And we already agree on the health insurance, and we are just signing the document for our salary. You will gonna be listening, getting more information coming on pretty by this week or next week about everything coming up. Please pay attention because we're gonna have sending everything to ratify by sending the document by August 2nd for the first day of school, and we're looking to ratify by August 4th. And just get everything ready to go by this school year. I can say as a PESPA president, I can say I'm more pleased. This year bargaining went smooth. It went the way the district and PESPA were looking for a real good collaborative working conditions and bargaining. I want to say thank you, Paula, Greg, our new chief financial guy.
Gary.
Gary, I'm gonna call you Gary, my bad, sorry guys, Gary, David and Dina Collins, thank you so much for being patient with us. But it was a wonderful bargaining, so thank you guys for tuning on the PESPA bargaining, and this is the conclusion of bargaining. You wanna say anything, Paula, before?
No, just thank you, and we look forward to getting this out to all of the employees for ratification right when we return to work. August 2nd. Excellent, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.